everyone, Kristen from Premier Fitness. We have our chest day workout today. Before I get into what the workout is and all that, you want to grab a few things. So it's optional, but a yoga mat or maybe get to a carpeted floor. 2 of our exercises will be on the floor today. Other than that, you will need some kind of a weight. For me, I have a gallon of water that I'll be using. And for one of the other exercises, I have 2 books. So if you could grab 2 books, if you have weighted plates available, of course you could use those. If you have a dumbbell available, you could use that dumbbell. So you just want to have 2 books and then some kind of weight such as a gallon of water, a thermos, a water bottle, anything like that. So all you need is those 2 books, your weight. You don't need 2 matching weights, just one. I designed the workout so we'll be able to still do that. For those of you who don't have like a set of dumbbells at home, you may only be able to find 1 gallon of water. So you'll still be able to do this if you only have that one weight. That's all you need. And then of course the mat if you prefer to have it. So it will be 5 different exercises. We'll be having it timed. It'll be on my phone. You'll hear 3 beeps in the last 3 seconds of every exercise or every rest. So you know it's coming to an end. You're about to stop the exercise, or that the rest is coming to an end. So you get ready to start the next exercise. So we're going to go into some warm-ups, and then we'll get right into our workout. Another thing, you can also grab a water, so you can drink your water throughout the workout if you'd like. So we got all our stuff, we got our books, we got our weight. If you need a mat, go ahead and get that. I'm going to go right into the warm-up now, okay? So our entire warm-up will be standing, and then our first 2 exercises, once we start the actual workout, will be on the floor. All right, so let's start this warm-up. So standing, have your feet just a little bit wider than your shoulders. That's just so you have better stability as opposed to your feet right in together like this. So just have that little bit of a wider stance. I want you to bring your arms out straight at your sides at shoulder level, palms facing away from you. And you're just going to bring your palms together. And then push back. Now let me turn to the side a little bit. So bring your hands together, touch those palms together, and push your arms back so you're pushing a little bit further, kind of bringing those shoulder blades together. And I want you to stay in motion. Make sure you're not holding it either part of the movement for too long. Just keep moving. You'll also notice that I have a very slight bend in my arms when I come to the back part of this movement. You don't have to keep your arms perfectly straight. Keep moving. We're just warming up right now, so don't force too far. Make sure you're staying within your current range of motion, and by that I just mean make sure you're not forcing your arm to the point of it being uncomfortable. You just want to get warmed up and ready to start our workout. All right. Go ahead and let your arms drop to your side. Let them relax briefly. We're going to do some forward arm rotations next. So just bring your arms going forward. You can start with small rotations and then build up to some wider rotations. And just go however much is comfortable for you. So don't force them too far. Again, just warming up right now. You can go nice and slow. Make sure you're not speeding through this. We're going to do 1 more warm-up, and then we'll get ready to start our exercise, our workout. All right, let's do 1 more rotation, and let your arms relax. Last warm-up, before we get started, I want to make sure, I mentioned you should stay in motion with this one as with the other one. Make sure you're not holding the stretch for too long. We don't want to do static stretching before our workout. So make sure you stay in motion. So you're going to be, again, standing. Bring your hands together, and you just push them up overhead. Bring them back down. Now when you're pushing your arms up over your head, you want to make sure you're tensing your shoulders, and then relax. So just briefly overhead, tense, and back down. You should be feeling it mostly right up in here. Tense and release. Make sure you don't hold it too long while you're tensing those muscles. We're just trying to warm up our shoulders a little bit because our movements do hit the shoulders some as well. The exercises that we'll be doing during our workout. Let's do one more, up overhead, tense briefly, and relax. All right, so you can relax for a second while I get my phone ready to start the workout. We will be starting with floor press. We're going on the right side, then the left side. So you're going to want to lay down on your mat if you're using a mat, and go ahead and grab your weight. I'll start my timer. I'll start by facing this way so you can see better how my arms are moving. And then I'll turn it at an angle for the next round. First off, before we get started, you're going to want to sit on the floor with your legs bent. You'll lay flat down on the floor, and you'll have your arms up here, right in line with your shoulders like this. So now I'll turn this way to start the exercise. Go ahead and lay down like I just showed you, and get ready to start. And begin. So we've got 30 seconds on the right hand side. So you have your weight in that right hand. You push up, overhead. Make sure you don't lock your arm. And then let it down nice and slowly. It should make a right angle when you come down like this. You'll also notice that this part of your arm, you want to keep it nice and straight up during the whole movement. And as I was saying, let it down nice and slow. All right, switch to the left-hand side and start right away. Push up, same exact thing as before. Let it down nice and slow. Should be making that right angle when you come to the bottom of the movement here. And this part of your arm should be facing straight up. And make sure you're not changing that throughout the movement like that. You want to keep it straight up the whole time. And stop. You can set your weight down nice and gently. You can stay lying down, or you can sit up if you'd like. We're going to do 3 more rounds of that movement, same exact way. Right side, left side, rest. And we'll do that 3 times. Get ready to start. I'll turn this way this time, so hopefully you can see my arms at another angle. Go ahead and begin. So now at this angle, hopefully that helps you make sure you're doing this properly when I turn different ways. You can see where my arms are falling. So you can see how it's right up at shoulder level. Try to keep it just about in this imaginary line right here. And when you're letting it down, let it down nice and slow. Go ahead and switch to the left side and start right away. And when you're working the one side, you can rest your other arm wherever you find comfortable. For me, personally, I rest it on my stomach or right at my side. You can lay it down like this if you find that comfortable. Whatever works for you, just make sure you're really focusing on the side that you are working, more than focusing on where that other arm is resting. And stop. Again, let that weight down nice and gently. Take a drink of my water before we get started. We've got 10 seconds before we start again. I'll turn and face this way. Hopefully that will be a good angle. And begin. Again on that right-hand side. Focus on your breathing. Control your breathing. You're going to want to breathe out when you push the weight up overhead. And breathe in as you're letting it back down towards the floor. The reasoning for that is it makes it a lot easier primarily when you're breathing out during the most difficult part of the movement. So breathe in as you're letting it down. Breathe out as it's pushing back up. Get ready to switch. Switch to that left side and begin right away. Same breathing. Breathe out when you push up. Breathe in as you're letting that weight down nice and slow. Try to make sure you're still using proper form. If you're not, switch to a lighter weight if you have that available. If you don't have a lighter weight available, just take a little bit of a longer rest before starting. Go ahead and stop. Make sure you're setting that weight down nice and gently each time. The reason I say that is you don't want to just drop it and hurt your shoulder by suddenly just letting that weight go. So we got 8 seconds, one more round of this, and then we'll go into our next exercise, which will also be lying on the floor. And begin on that right side, one last time. Still keep controlling that breathing. Put the weight down nice and slow. Keep your arm up here at about shoulder level, like I was mentioning before. That right degree, that 90-degree angle when you come down, that right angle. Get ready to switch to the left side. Go ahead and switch and start as soon as you can. Almost done. We'll take a rest and then we'll get ready for our next exercise after this. Almost done. And make sure the rest of your body is staying nice and still on the floor. And stop. I'm going to sit up, pause this, so we have a little extra time before we go to the next exercise. So this next exercise is going to be pullovers. You're going to lay on the floor, quite similar to how you were for the floor press. It's just going to be a different movement with our weight here. All right, so I'm going to hit play on this. We've got 15 seconds. I want you to lay on the floor the same way with those legs bent. Lay flat on the floor and have the weight in both of your hands resting on your chest right now. And begin. So you're going to lift that weight, push it up overhead. You're going to have your arms slightly bent and just very slowly let the weight down and then come back up. Now when you're letting the weight down, you don't need to go all the way to the floor. You can just bring your upper arm to your ears. So just right here, this part of your arm should be coming right about in line with your ears. So let that weight down nice and slowly and back up. Go ahead and stop. You can stay laying down on the floor or you can sit back up. Let me check my timer. So we have 20 seconds of rest in between this exercise each round. So again, you have this weight in between your hands. I can hold it like this and begin. So you push up overhead, let that weight down nice and slowly with that slight bend in your arm, and breathe out as you're bringing the weight back up. Make sure you're going nice and slow through this movement. You can move faster as you're bringing the weight up here, but move slow as you're letting it down. And always use controlled movement. Make sure you have control over what you're doing. Think about the movement you're going through and focus on the muscles we're working. Go ahead and stop. Again, we'll have 2 more rounds. You can set the weight down on the floor if you'd like, rest on your chest, or just keep it in your hands, whatever's comfortable. We have 5 seconds left. Get ready, push that weight overhead, and begin. Sorry, push that weight up, and now we bring it overhead. Again, breathe in as you're letting it down nice and slow, bringing your upper arm, your tricep, to about where your ear is, and back up, breathing out. And as I was saying, focusing on the muscles you're working, this is working your pecs, and it's hitting your shoulders a little bit as well. And breathe out, and stop. Let me double check, I believe we have 1 more round left. Yes. So we got 1 more round of this, and then we'll be standing for the remaining 3 exercises, which will all be back to back. Go ahead, get ready, push that weight up, and begin. Let it down nice and slow. And then breathe out as you bring it back up. This is the last round of this exercise. Make sure you still got a good hold on your weight. Almost done. And stop. Go ahead, set your weight down to the side. Let me hit pause on this so we can get ready for our next 2 movements. Go ahead and stand up. I'm going to take a drink of my water before I get into explaining what we'll be doing. All right. Move this out of the way. And now the first exercise we'll be doing is a Sven Press. It's going to be with our 2 books in between your hands, pressing out like this. Then we're going to go into an overhead press with our weight. Or if your books are heavy enough for you, you can go ahead and use the books if that works for you. If not, you can switch to your weight and just have a weight like this going up overhead. After that, we'll switch into an overhead tricep extension, which is quite similar. You're going to keep that weight up overhead, and then we're just going to be working our triceps from there. So I'll explain it much more when we get started. We'll have 30 seconds of each exercise and a couple seconds in between to switch. So right now, go ahead and grab those books. Same stance as that warm-up, your feet a little bit wider than shoulders. So press those books together in your hand. Start the workout. If you're familiar with it, you can start. If not, I'll be explaining it. Fingertips facing away from you, pressing your 2 books together in between those hands. You push out, extend your arms in front of you, and then bring the books back to your chest. Keeping the rest of your body nice and still as you're going through this movement. Push out and bring the books back in. All right, stop, set those books down, grab your weight, get ready to start the overhead press down. So you kind of have your hands underneath the weight. If you're familiar, go ahead and start, and you're just pushing the weight up overhead, letting it down nice and slow. Again, keep the rest of your body still. And don't lock your arms out. You never want to lock your arms when you're going through a movement, so don't lock them like this. Be just short of that. And bring the weight down nice and slow. Up overhead, let it down nice and slow. Now we've got the overhead tricep extension. So you're going to keep the weight, adjust your grip on it, up overhead, and you're just going to let it down and push back up. So when you're letting it down, make sure you're keeping your upper arm right here, about in line with your ear. Keep it nice and still. And don't drop these down too far. You don't have to touch your back with the weight. Just a little bit deeper than parallel. Up and down a little bit further than parallel to the ground, which is here. All right, we can stop now. I know that might feel a little bit rushed if you're unfamiliar with those movements. So I will make sure I keep going over it. We have 2 more rounds, so I'll keep explaining it in the last 2 rounds so you can make sure you're doing it right and feel comfortable with your form. We've got 10 more seconds before we start. I'm going to move my weight up here to get ready. Go ahead and grab your 2 books, starting with that Sven Press again. Same stance as before. And begin. So you extend your arms out in front of you, and then bring the books back in. This is similar in what muscles this is working. All of these exercises work similar muscles. Right now you're working your pecs, so your chest muscles, and you're also hitting your front shoulder muscle as well. Push that weight out, push the book out, and bring it back. All right, stop. You can set that book down, set those books down, pick up your weight, and begin the overhead press now. So push that weight up overhead. Make sure you're letting it down nice and slow. Breathe out as the weight's going up overhead, and breathe in as you're letting it back down. Breathe out, and breathe in. You can push it up overhead a little faster, just as long as you still have control over the movement, and really focus on letting it down slowly. All right, you can stop. Get ready to start the overhead tricep extension. I'll turn this way this time. Up overhead, you can see I kind of adjust the grip so I turn my hands back. Let that down just a little bit further than parallel to the ground. So this right here is parallel to the ground. I let it down just a tiny bit further. And then back up. Trying to keep your upper arm where your tricep is as slow as you can. As still as you can, and right by your ear. It'll move a little bit, but just do your best. Go ahead and stop. You can set your weight down, And we've got one last round. And as you can probably guess, that last movement does work your triceps. The overhead press also hits your triceps a little bit, as well as your pecs, your chest muscles, and your shoulders as well, like the first move does. Alright, so our last round, go ahead and grab your 2 books, get ready, and begin. Books in between your hands, extend those arms, and bring it back. So this is the movement I was saying, our first movement, that works your pecs and your deltoid muscles. Primarily the front deltoid. That front shoulder muscle and your chest muscles. And our next one is quite similar, but it also does hit the triceps a little bit as well. And stop, set the book down, grab that weight, be ready for your overhead press, and begin. This is the one I was saying works your pecs, your deltoid muscles, and it also hits your triceps a little bit as well. Make sure you're still using proper form, and pay attention to your breathing as well. Almost done. It's our last round. We only have one exercise left. And stop that press. Get ready for your overhead tricep extensions. And begin. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but for your breathing on this one, you breathe out as you push the weight up, and breathe in as you're letting it down. Breathe out as the weight comes up, breathe in as you're letting it down. And like I said at the end of last round, this is the one that works your triceps. And stop. Go ahead and set that weight down. We're going to go into a cool down. Let me shut my phone off first, because we don't want it going off and beeping during our cool down. So our cool down will be very similar to our warm up. We're going to go through those movements, and we have one additional one to add. So first, let's just start with your arms out at your sides, palms facing away from you. Bring those palms together and push your arms back. Now that it's the end of our workout, we can have a little bit more of a static stretch, and you can just hold like this. You're probably feeling it a little more right in here. Keep going. I'm going to switch to the next movement that we'll be doing for our cool down. But if you'd like to keep doing this one, you can continue at the end of the video. And if you're not sure on exactly how to do it, you want to keep watching. Once I end this live, you'll be able to rewatch it if you like. So for now, drop your arms to your side, let them relax for just a second. And we're going to go into our next movement. This is the new one. So it's an overhead tricep stretch. So you're going to bring both your arms up over your head. We're going to start by stretching the right arm first. So I want you to bend that right arm, grab your right elbow with your left hand, and just very gently pull it back a little bit. So you're pulling your right arm in a little more just to deepen that stretch. You probably have to lean your head forward just a little bit so it's out of the way. Now let me turn this way to show you how far back I'm pulling my arm. So up overhead, bend that right arm again, grab it with your left hand so you can see this is me pulling it back, just very gently. And I've done this stretch before, so I'm familiar with what my range of motion is here, and I'm not pushing too far past it. You want to make sure you're not forcing your arm too much. You're not pulling it too far back. You're just deepening the stretch a little bit. All right, so let's do that again on the left side now. Both arms up, bend that left arm, grab that left arm with your right hand, and once again, very gently, hold that left arm, pull it back a bit just to deepen that stretch. Hold. An easy way to time these stretches, if you'd like to time it, is just take a nice, slow, deep breath. And then release your arms, both down your sides. Let's do that once more on each side. So right side, arms up, right arm bent, grab it with your left hand, very gently pull it back, and take a deep breath. Let both your arms down nice and slow. Let them relax just a second and bring them back up and do the left side now. Same thing, hold deep breath. And release your arms down to your sides, let them relax. Now we're going to do that overhead shoulder stretch. So you're going to bring your arms up overhead. You can lace your fingers however it's comfortable, but you're mostly focusing on tensing your muscles right in here, shoulder muscles. So tense them. You can relax, rest your hands on top of your head like this if you'd like, whatever's comfortable, and then repeat again. If you'd like, you could even bring your arms all the way down and then back up, tense those shoulder muscles, and relax again. Make sure you're breathing nice and slow as you're going through this movement. You're just cooling down right now. Should be a bit relaxing almost. Let's do one more. Tense those shoulder muscles and bring those arms down. Let them relax. All right, that's it for our cool down. If you'd like to do those cool down movements anymore, you can go ahead and do that. If you need instruction for it, as soon as I end this live, you'll be able to rewatch the movements. You could even hold them for longer if you like. For example, with the tricep stretch or up overhead like this. You could hold it for 2 deep breaths, maybe 3 deep breaths, or just actually time it out by counting, whatever you like. So I really hope you liked it, and thank you for watching.